15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com.
Now entering the PNR Networks arena, coming down the aisle from Revere, Massachusetts, weighing in at absolutely none of your business. It's the Mistress of Mayhem, the Queen of Quips. It's time for Ring Around The Rosie with your hostess, Kim Brown.
Everybody, welcome to another week here on Ring Around the Rosie. I am your host, Kim Brown, aka Platinum Rose Lady, coming to you on the 8th of August, 2020. Boy, I'm sorry that I've been away for a little bit, you guys. It's just been super ridiculously, stupidly hot in Massachusetts because it's summer, yay. And it's just been hot and humid and disgusting. And so I just haven't been recording because it's just been too hot to sit in this room and talk in front of a microphone. So without having the fan on, and then all you're going to hear is me talking really low and the fan blowing into the microphone, and nobody wants to hear that. So what are we going to talk about today? What I'm going to talk about today is, obviously what's been going on, since pretty much the beginning of 2020. We've all been dealing with this whole thing, this whole COVID mess, which has been going on, started overseas, came over to America, and now it's, worldwide pandemic, and everybody's, still dealing with it as best as we can. Which I have to say, a lot of people are dealing with it very well. A lot of people are dealing with this as best as they can with all of the, the regulations and all the things people have to do. And a lot of people are taking it seriously, which they should, because this is a serious illness and people, can die from it. And to all of the people that have, put their lives on the line and can't see their families as much because they're working so hard in hospitals and police and fire and all those other people and, the people that do this all day long, so much props to you. And also we got to give props to people who are doing, other jobs that have become even more in the forefront because of this whole pandemic situation. People who are doing like food deliveries and things like that, whether they work for a restaurant or whether they're doing shopping, for people, or Grubhub or DoorDash or all that stuff like that. Thank you to all of you people too. You're all doing wonderful. And please, if you are using any of the apps or any, like if you're calling and ordering food a little more than you used to be or doing things like that, please think about the person that's doing this service for you and make sure you tip them well and make sure you're super nice to them. If they couldn't get you something at the store or whatever, don't take it out on them. Just say, hey, you tried. Thanks for trying. Thanks for doing a good job. Give them a smile. If you do have to go out to the store or something like that, make sure you're nice to the people that work in the store. Tell them they're doing a great job. Don't yell at them. Don't be a dick. That's what it boils down to. Don't be a dick. We really are all in this together because as far as I know right now, this is the only planet we all live on. Unless somebody else has found a way to slip into an alternate universe. If you have, totally DM me because we need to talk. But seriously, we're all in this together, and this is something that we should all be looking at and being like, we need to help each other and not all be like, grr, fight, angry, and stuff like that, And we should also we should look for ways to have fun and relax and just, safely, social distance, wear a mask, wash your hands, call your grandma, all that stuff. It's obviously super important. And I know some people are going, okay, well, that's all great and wonderful and nifty, Kim, but you have a wrestling show, so get to the fucking point. So the point, and there actually is a point, amazingly enough, I actually have one, so that's new, mark your calendars. Wrestling during COVID. It's like Love in the Time of Cholera. It's wrestling during the time of COVID. It's a movie, look it up. But anyway, obviously, you know, we have what the WWE is putting out with their, you know, with the whole thing that they've got people in the performance centers, you know, as the audience in AEW. They're doing work in Daly's place and have, you know, crowds there that are made up of the people that work there and, you know, other people that are being checked and things like that when they show up, which is great. But there are other things that you as a wrestling fan can go check out. You know, and I'm not knocking the WWE and I'm not knocking AEW for trying to put things out there and giving people something to watch. I happen to think that AEW's product and productions during these times have been better because, oh my gosh, the horror show that WWE put out, they call it the horror show. Man, they weren't lying about that. Ugh. That was that show sucked Minotaur dong. Anyway, but there are other alternatives. There are other options out there. And one of those options is independent wrestling. Now, independent wrestling is something that has always been very near and dear to my heart. Growing up in the Northeast, obviously, grew up watching a lot of, back then, WWF programming. Once we got cable, you know, we got to see NWA and other things like that. But we had a lot of independent feds that we used to go to. I would go with my fella. And back when we had a car, we would drive all over the place and go to all these little indie feds, and we always had a fantastic time. And because it's always fun. I love indie feds because, for one thing, when you have an indie fed, sometimes you're watching people at the literal start of their career, and it's super cool when you see them later on and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so. And I remember when I saw them way back whenever, and they had short blonde hair, and now they've got long dark hair, and they had this gimmick and look back then, and now they've got this gimmick and look now, and they never used to talk, and oh wow, that's what they sound like, and all this, you know, that's really cool. But it's just that independent shows, to me, always have just a more intimate feel, besides the fact that they're usually, just logistically speaking, in smaller places. I mean, I've been to some indie shows that were in larger buildings, nothing to the size of like the Boston Garden or the Fleet Center or the New Garden or whatever the fuck they're calling it this week. But I've been to some places that were a little bit bigger, but I've also been to some indie shows that were super duper small. And I had fun at both. You know, it's just a question of you make your own fun. And the nice thing about indie shows is that you can actually, sometimes you feel like you're you do feel like you're part of the show. Besides the fact that sometimes you literally are part of the show because a wrestler might say, here, hold this chair, and then drive somebody into it, which I have seen happen. You just get closer to people. You get to, I've had people, hug me. I've had people kiss me. Thanks a lot, Fatu, if you're out there. Rikishi, whatever, it was a long time ago. Nice kiss though. But I don't know what it is. People just kiss me. I don't know what it is. That happened to me at a concert once. I went to this concert with a bunch of my friends, and it was this heavy metal show. And we're just watching the show and rocking out and having a great time. All of a sudden, the lead singer bends down. Mwah! I'm like, what the fuck? That guy just kissed me. And and then I'm going, wait, why am I complaining about this? I don't know. I guess I just have one of those, I have those lips that people like to kiss. I don't know. But I've always had a great time at independent shows, and they just feel more organic, I guess I don't know if organic's really the word I want. They just have more of a heartfelt feel to them. You don't feel like it's so business-like, I guess. I don't know if it's almost kind of like comparing it to going to like a local theme park and then going to Disney. I mean, Disney's fun, but it's still Disney, big corporation, as opposed to going to like, a small park, a small theme park or whatever that's known well where you live. If you get what I mean, if you get my drift. And obviously right now going to independent shows is not something that a lot of people can do. Some people can. Some people have been lucky enough that they have been able to go to independent shows. And those independent shows that I have been able to see on TV have done a great job with social distancing, with keeping the ring clean, keeping the ropes clean, people wearing masks, and, doing the whole social distancing thing and stuff like that, which is really super cool and awesome. The thing is, you can actually see some of that stuff too on TV. It's just a question of knowing where to look. Now, I bring this up because there's a couple of places you can go to right now, this very second, right after you get done listening to this podcast and my melodious voice. Sorry. You can go to and go check out right now on your own little TV or your own little computer or whatever you use. I wouldn't recommend watching this stuff on the phone simply because I think it would eat up a lot of your phone time, bandwidth, computer stuff thing. I'm going to stop that because it's going to just show how not technical I am. I'm not. I've always said when it comes to like my guy and my fella and I, also I'd like to bring up my fella TC who made the list for me of people that I wanted to talk about and feds I want to talk about. Mwah, I love you, Puddin'. But he's the technical person and I'm the cute one. He's the one that does all the technical things with the computer and stuff like that. I'm the person that's like, honey, what does this blue screen mean? I'm not that good with computers are like dogs. They sense fear. So I'm not really the computer person. He's definitely the computer genius in our house. I'm just the cute person that goes, ooh, what does this button do? But there's lots of feds and things like that you can check out on television, and you can check them out by going to IWTV, which is independentwrestling.tv. And you can find out about them if you have Roku, you can check them out on Roku. They have it's a subscription site that you can go to, and it's $10 a month, which is not bad at all. And that gives you all kinds of access to live cards. It gives you access to on-demand stuff. And you can look up, and seriously, this is crazy. There are 150 promotions plus you can look up on this site. You can go to their search site and you can just sit there and you can look by federation, you can look by name, and you can search for anything your heart desires, and you'll probably find something that will interest you. And believe me, it's a great deal. You can also check out, and those are videos that are owned and operated and everything like that from the folks over at Smart Mark Video. I knew I'd get it right sooner or later. And I'm sober. That's the amazing part. The nice people over at Smart Mark Video who are not paying me to say any of this, because if they were, I wouldn't fuck it up. But they own all of that. So check out IWTV. And seriously, the first time you check it out, it's going to be like, what the wow, look at all this stuff. So put aside some time, because you're going to be spending time looking through it. Really a lot. Also, you can check out Fight TV. It's FITE.TV. They have pay-per-view events. They have special bulk packages. You can go check stuff out that way. And they're cool as hell as well. Definitely check them out. So that's IWTV, Independent Wrestling, that's all one long word, .TV, and Fight TV, FITE.TV. TV. Check them out. It's super cool. Now, I'd like to just talk real quick about some of the feds that we have been able to see because of watching IWTV and also Fight TV. We've seen some amazing feds and some amazing people on those feds. We've watched Game Changer Wrestling. They've got some great stuff there. Black Label Pro Wrestling, Beyond Wrestling, St. Louis Anarchy, Southern Underground Pro, and also Defy Wrestling. And these are all fantastic federations full of really hardworking men and women that are out there entertaining and knocking themselves out, doing great work for all of the fans out there. And like I said, you should really go check out their stuff, all of their stuff, because it's all really crazy and awesome and fun. And sometimes, it's independent stuff, so, stuff goes out the window and shit gets crazy and people swear and all kinds of crazy shit happens. And it doesn't have that polished feel to it, but it has that heartfelt realness to it. And that's what makes it so cool. And there's tons and tons of people that I've gotten to see because of watching these feds. I mean, I can't speak on everybody as much as I'd love to, but obviously somebody like, Joey Janela, the bad boy Joey Janela, who has been also part of AEW and is heavily involved with Game Changer Wrestling, who are completely insane. They put on, they're the people that we watched. They had a backyard wrestling event on July 4th, and everyone was using, alias names because they didn't want to use their proper wrestling names because it's backyard wrestling and all that. And this was, honest to blog, one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life. I was just sitting there watching this stuff going, I don't know what's going on, but holy cow, this is awesome. You had some crazy wrestling. You had so many broken light tubes. You had fireworks being used as weapons. You had trampolines, children's swimming pools, larger size swimming pools, a car. It was just complete madness and insanity. Other people, I want to bring up Nick Gage. Oh my gosh, Nick fucking Gage. Nick Gage is one of the most terrifying human beings I've ever seen in my life. And I mean that in the most nice, respectable way I could mean that about someone who I'm actually afraid of. Seriously, if I had a choice of being locked in a room with Leatherface or Nick Gage, I think my next question would be, does Leatherface actually have the chainsaw? Oh, he doesn't. Well, I'll go be with him because I don't want to be locked in a room with Nick Gage if he's mad. Nick Gage is an amazing worker and absolutely terrifying. That man is legit the definition of the word badass. If you look up badass in the dictionary, there is going to be a picture of Nick Gage. I am not making that up. I swear. There's so many other people, like I said, I can't think of everybody off the top of my head, but just other people I want to bring up real quick and, just throwing names at you. I don't mean to do it that way, but obviously somebody that we saw his indie work before he went to AEW because we heard about him and we were like, oh wow, check this guy out. Marco Stunt, who is an amazing athlete for someone, people say like, oh, he's an amazing athlete for his size. I'm like, bullshit. He's an amazing athlete for any size, small, medium, or large. He's incredibly talented. Marco has a brother named Logan, who is also a kick-ass wrestler and possibly just as insane as his brother. But in case you hadn't noticed, we don't have a problem with insanity here on this show because some of us have been insane for a very long time. We're not crazy. We're just a little unwell. But there's just so many people. Chris Dickinson was also known as the Dirty Daddy, Chris Dickinson. And, oh, Daddy. I usually have a problem with that. That's just because daddy issues? Who's got daddy issues? I don't have daddy issues. Yeah, and denial's not just a river in Egypt. But Chris is an amazing wrestler. There's, like I said, there are so many people. Warhorse is someone that we've seen in Black Label Pro. He is one of the craziest people I've ever seen. And because of all of the people online that were screaming and yelling and saying we want to see him, Warhorse wound up getting a shot at the TNT Championship with Cody Rhodes on A&E Dynamite, which was great. Unfortunately, he didn't win, but still, it was a fucking awesome match. Because I'm sorry, the second Warhorse came out. He's got the jacket. He's got his vest on with all these heavy metal patches and all these other these bands and all that stuff. And one of them is a Kiss patch. I'm like, well, he's awesome. That automatically makes him awesome because he likes Kiss. So that just. I know. I'm shallow. Yeah, I know. Y'all aren't telling me something I don't already know, but it is what it is. And like I mentioned, there's so many people that because of watching this stuff that we're able to see all these incredible athletes go out there, and they're giving it their all. They are completely giving it their all, doing all this amazing work. And if you guys are looking for something, if you're looking for something that's different from the usual things that you see, on the regular networks and stuff like that, please check out the independent wrestling TV. Check out Fight TV. And if you have a little extra money, and I realize not a lot of us have a lot of extra money right now, we don't, and we admit it. But if you have a little extra money, throw it their way when you get a chance. And if you are lucky enough to go to one of those shows, one of the smaller indie shows right now, when you're there, support them as much as you can when it comes to, giving some money besides paying for a ticket. Make sure that you buy some merch, toss a little bit of coinage their way when it comes to buying a drink or something to eat or something like that. Cause these are people that are doing this because yes, it is their job. They're wrestlers. It's their job, but it's also the fact that they love what they do, and they deserve our respect. They deserve our love. They deserve our support. And what they're doing is fun, and it helps people to take their minds off the fact that right now things are a little bit, let's call it what it is, fucking nuts. Things are crazy right now. But if for a little while people can take their minds off being worried about stuff and have a good time and have some fun, then I think that that's definitely a good thing. I think that's definitely something that people need to do. Everybody needs to do. And if you're at one of those shows, do all the stuff you're supposed to do. Social distance, wear a mask, wash your hands, and be respectful and be cool and just have fun. Have fun, be cool, and we'll get through this. I mean, that's how I feel, and I know that we all have moments where we're down, and we all have moments when we're scared, and we have moments when we're really uncertain, and everybody does. I don't care if you are like, the biggest professional wrestler in the world, or you're just, some super strong dude or whatever, or lady. But we all have moments where we feel insecure, where we feel doubtful, where we feel scared. And for us to be able to look at each other and go, I got your back. Even if I'm not there physically, I can be there with you in spirit and be like, I believe in you and I support you and I care about you as a person. Then that helps. I think that helps all of us, the collective us, and there's so much division and so much, there's just so much where everybody's being like, it's us against them, it's me against you, it's da 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 da. And it really shouldn't be that way. I really don't think it should. I'm not trying to be all deep and metaphorical and stuff like that, but fuck it, it's my show. I just feel like, we should all just kind of be like, hey, I appreciate you, you appreciate me. Let's all try and get through this, and we will get through it as a people, not as an American people or North American people, as a planet Earth, third one from the sun, blah, blah, blah. We'll all get through this together. And if it helps you out there listening in the vastness of the interwebs to know that there's some twit in Massachusetts with purple hair sitting in front of a microphone going, I believe in you, and I love you, and I care about you, and I want you to succeed because I think you're a beautiful person. I guess that, that's a good thing, right? And if you pass that on to somebody else today, that would be really cool. And if we can all pass that on, I really feel like the positives will outweigh the negatives. So, that is going to do it for my, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now, I don't know why, but whenever they talk about like somebody having a TED Talk, I always picture like a little teddy bear sitting in front of a microphone, just sitting there, and then everybody going, probably because I'm deranged, but anyway, you have your reality, I have mine, but that's going to do it for another, show here on, Ring Around the Rosie. If you have any questions, comments, queries, chocolate, complaints, anything you want to send my way, platinumroselle@yahoo.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter, which I would appreciate, you can follow me at platinumroselle@twitter.com. And I hope that you will check out all of the other shows that are part of our little island of misfit toys. You can go back and listen to all of our shows that we have, all of our podcasts that we do. And we have a lot of fun with a lot of them. Some of them are serious, but for the most part, they're not. Because why so serious? But okay, we're not doing that. But anyway, you can check out all of our stuff, and I hope you will. And I hope that you have a great rest of your weekend, and that you stay safe and stay well. And this is Platinum Rose Lady signing off for another week, reminding you to love the ones you hug the ones you love, and take some time to stop and smell the roses. See you around. Bye.
You have been listening to Ring Around the Rosie with Kim Brown, a production of PNR Networks. Keep in touch with all things about the show at http://ringaroundtherosie.net. Ring Around the Rosie intro performed by Eric Lyon. Ring Around the Rosie theme by Digital Juice. Join Kim for a new Ring Around the Rosie every Wednesday. Ring Around the Rosie is copyright 2018 PNR Networks, Boston, Massachusetts, USA.
15 years, blowing the doors off the competition, podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com